Hey everybody, it's Scot Tempesta from Sailing Anarchy. Yeah, you know, we're doing another retro boat video. This one's not quite that retro, but we're gonna go with it. This today is a really neat boat, and if you've been on one, you already know that. Say hello to the J111. All right, we'll start off in the rear end of the J111. As you can see, it's pretty roomy back here, which is kind of nice. The boat's relatively wide in the back, but not super wide. This is a fairly narrow boat. It's only 10 feet, 8 inches. If you're gonna have a wheel, and I know a lot of you guys don't care for wheels and a lot of you love them, if you're gonna do one, this would be exactly how you would do it. It's the right size, the right height, even for me. It's perfectly positioned so that you could stand here and steer. You can sit here and steer. You've got your footrest right there, or some people like to sit up here and steer. They actually will do this. It's just nice for the helmsman. He's got his own area back here. Very comfortable, great visibility, good ergonomics in terms of sitting and standing wherever you want to be. This is how you do it. If you move just a little bit forward, which I'm actually doing, this is where the mainsail trimmer would be. And I talk about this on a number of boats, but this boat is nicely done. It's compact. Mainsail trimmer sits right here. He's got his traveler controls here. He's got his fine tune for the main sheet there, and then he's got his coarse tune for the main sheet there. So yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to lean in, but he's got to come in to grab the sheet. But he can sit right here with his foot brace, and he's talking right to the helmsman, and so the communication's great. He's got his own place, and he never really goes anywhere. Mainsail trimmer really doesn't leave here. He just goes right through the other tack or the jibe, and it's perfect right there. So that is sort of the command central for a J111. Really nice. I mean, really, there's not much to not like about this boat, and you'll see as we go further forward. Mid-cockpit in the J111, nice size winch islands, very low. I like that they've got the nice radius to them, good non-skid. See how they carry the non-skid over so you don't get to the edge and slip? I think that's great. For those of us who like to lounge, and I'm probably the king, I like the fact that these are long enough, even for me. I can lay down and take a little nappy, and it's great. So for sitting here and for just relaxing, it's a nice place to be. The pit area is obviously pretty straightforward. These are big winches. You also use these for spinnaker sheet winches on jibes. I'm absolutely sure that you use those as well, because you've only got the one set of primaries here, which is generally where the jib sheet would come to. And you could also use these or the cabin top winches for sheets, depending upon what you need. So one of the things that you just have to love about J-boats, and I do, is just the fact that there's nothing extra on the boat. It's a relatively simple boat, as all J's are, and it's just nothing really gets in the way, like, oh, I wish that wasn't there, or, geez, I should have done this. J-boats are well thought out, and this boat is really a good example of it. These boats came out in 2010, I think, and I believe between the USA and France, they've made 121. This boat is hull number 103, and this boat was built in 2014, so it's right about in the middle. This class is still going. I mean, it's really strong in certain parts of the country, especially back east, East Coast, Great Lakes. These things are hugely popular. And when we complete the tour, you'll be able to see why they actually are. Let's move up to the front of the boat, shall we? Okay, I'm at the shroud area on this boat. One of the things that I like, and I know you guys do too, the nice wide side decks. I mean, these are great, unobstructed, except for the stanchion supports. And like I said, the Genoa adjustment for the 4.5 jib tracks. You got your barber haulers here, both sides, because these boats, I mean, they want a narrow sheeting angle, so you want to bring those things in. Obviously, they're non-overlapping jibs on this boat, and they don't need Genoas to speak of. It's got a good-sized mainsail on the boat. By the way, the boat weighs 9,300 pounds. 32 foot on the waterline, as I may have said, 10.8 wide, as I did say. Draws a little over 7 feet. I think with about 3,500 pounds in the bulb. I mean, it could be a lighter boat. It could be. I mean, for example, the Flying Tiger that I had, which is 32 feet long, weighed about 4,300 pounds. So you could arguably say this boat is about twice the weight, but it's also in a lot of ways twice the boat, and you'll see as we go down below and show you what's down there. If you look forward, well, there's not a lot to look forward to. I mean, they did, again, a nice job with the house, carrying the non-skid over. You know, it's a nice ramp there that is not obstructed except for the hatch, which isn't much of an obstruction at all, really. This is an asymmetrical boat, so it's got a sprit like the J boats all have for their sprit boats. And it's really nice. This is how you do it. Nothing confusing up there. There is a locker for an anchor if you so wish to do so. I mean, what's not to like about this boat? I mean, it's handsome and functional, and that's a really good thing. Another nice thing I like about this boat, no wood on deck anywhere. You can't see it. Hell, even the grab rails, they're metal. So no varnish to do. Perfect. Let's go to my favorite thing, the window. Okay, this boat has a great main window. It's got the little opening windows here, port and side. They're hatches, not windows, of course, just to get some ventilation down in the galley area. It's a great idea. But look at this. This is just beautiful. And you just talk about aesthetics, which is one of my things. Just a beautiful job with the contrast of the colors, right? Dark tinted here. The window is flush, and then the nice white gel coat that rolls right into the gray non-skid. And look at this. Look how they decided to cut the window up there. So I wasn't sure if that was function or form. That's just form. They decided to do a little something different with the window, but it's perfectly proportioned to the height of the house and the length of the house. I guess theoretically, if you were freaking out about windows, you could conceivably add one up there, but why? I just think they did a really good job with the windows. Nice place to be and very good looking. What do you say we head down below? All right, down below the J111, you can see here sitting on the companionway ladder, you've got a nice nav station right here with a very, very comfy little seat. You sit right here, minimal of instruments down here, which is fine. Got your electrical panel there. This thing lifts up. It's great. You can't ask for much more. You look behind me, you'll see that is a double bunk. I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, that is a double. So you could sleep two people there, certainly one for sure. Back over here, the galley, and it's just sort of in typical J boat fashion, compact, efficient, nothing extra. Oh, it does have one thing that's cool. Oh, trash can. Okay, that's cool, but right, stove. You got a pedal here for the sink. You got an ice box there, and again, another double back here, which is, pretty nice. For a family boat, this thing has really good accommodations, and when we go all the way forward, I'll show you. But again, nice double here, motor under here. I think it's a 21 horse diesel. Fine. Little hanging locker here. I mean, J-boats are Spartan. They do, give a little tribute to some wood down below, but I like it. Easy to maintain. What you see is what you get. Not too many hidden, things where water is going to gather. Some of the weird things that you see on some of the older boats. This boat doesn't have that. I dig it. Let's walk forward to the Saloon, and then we'll go up to the forepeak and show you that area as well. Let's go. Keeping with the simple theme on the boat, settees, starboard and port. There's no pipe berth availability here that I can tell, but I imagine if you were serious about going offshore, you could definitely add another pipe berth that folds down and come back up here. I like how they did this, right? It's a little plastic homage to what a wood boat would look like down below, and then indeed there actually is some wood here. Of course, you can't help but notice that. Keel step mast. This is the diamond upholstery. It's a very expensive option. I have no idea. Well, I don't know what it's for, but it looks pretty damn good. So again, you do have the option for a table in here. I think they've taken it off. Pretty obviously they've taken it off. So when you're cruising, sitting on the boat on the weekend, overnight, you do actually have a table, and I think the leaves fold up on either side, so you have a pretty good place for people to sit. But just for relaxing and for openness and brightness, This is great. I mean, this is exactly the kind of boat that I would get if I was going to do a boat like this. By the way, on the used market, there aren't many available, and there's a reason why, because these things are friggin' popular. I think right around 170,000 bucks for a used one. You go, oh my God, that's a lot of money for a 10-year-old 36-foot boat. Okay, J-boats are relatively expensive. There's just no way around it. When these things were new, I think they're at least 250, you know, all up kind of thing. So, you know, that's a pretty decent drop, and it makes the boat kind of appealing for those who want to go racing, because these things are fast. They really are. And you want to have a boat that's got some usage and it's modern. I think that's really great. Coming up to the front, I'll show you what's going on up there. All right, we're in the echo chamber on the J111. This is the forepeak area. You've got a sink area here. There's a head back there. A lightweight door that does indeed close, so that if you've got guests or you don't want the kids to see what's going on, you close the door. Hanging locker there that, of course, in typical racing fashion is full of sheets, of course. And then you've got the butt end of the sprit that's right here. But you think this is just a place to store sails and whatnot, and it kind of is. However, these are here because this boat has a removable forepeak. And so you got a couple of attachment points, and I think it's got canvas on it, and so you could actually, this is a reasonable size double, so people could sleep up here. You're gonna have to explain this to your girlfriend or your wife, like, why is this thing in my face as I'm laying here? Well, it's just the way it goes, right? That sprit's gotta go somewhere. You can put it on deck, I suppose, but that wouldn't look very good. So there's only one place for it to go. It goes here. I don't know how many people actually use this the way it should be. I know that I would, because I like to stay on my boats. I like to spend the weekend on boats. I like to go for day sails on a boat. And, you know, sometimes I get a little tipsy and I like to pass out on a boat. So hopefully it's not your boat. So you could have yourself a nice little forepeak up here. I mean, it's a nice thing. Foredeck hatch right there, which is great for, you know, maybe takedowns, what have you, a little ventilation. It's smooth, it's bright, and it is my kind of boat. Well, that's our tour of the J111. Relatively succinct, because this is a relatively succinct boat. I mean, what you see is what you get. People ask often about a holy grail of a boat. This is the absolute definition of a racer cruiser. It really is, certainly the modern interpretation of it, right? It's a good-looking, simple boat on deck. Same down below. It's got all the amenities that you would possibly need down there, but nothing extra. I love the fact that it's bright and airy. This is a perfect boat for people to go day sailing on. You have tons of room back here, and in the main cockpit, you can race this boat because they are really successful boats at racing. Good in a breeze, like medium air, huge asymmetrical kites, big mainsail, no runners, swept back spreaders. I mean, it's what you want if you're going to have a rig for anything. Day sailing, racing, doesn't matter. You want to have simplicity and have a boat that you can dial in, and you can do that with this boat. So again, for those people that are looking for that at this price point, this would be a boat I'd consider. I mean, I'm already considering it. Okay, before we leave, be sure to hit that like button. There's a subscribe button, there's a notification button, there's some other buttons. Just click them all, just do that. And that way you can stay up to date on what we're doing here on our Retroboat videos. For Nobleman Productions and for Sailing Anarchy, I'm Scot Tempesta. We out.